actually starts before this. It starts the day they're born, because we want to establish a lifelong relationship with them right away. We call it trust and be trusted. And so as we're holding them when they're little bitty guys, they're starting to associate that feeling of comfort and security with us. And so when they get old enough to run around like this, they know us. Look at this one right here. They know us, they trust us, and they're actually willing to go on adventures. And so we use that as an opportunity to develop their self-confidence. And what Laura's doing right now is she's trying to encourage that younger one to make it across the log. Well, if that pup can't make it, then she helps him across. But finally, when that pup makes it, then she praises him on the other side, and they learn something. They learn that we're not asking them to do anything impossible. Also, that we'll always be there to help them. Pups like that one right over there, and her litter mate's out on the trail for walks. And of course, with Kibby going with us, she'll run way out in front, and the pups will chase after her. And she'll go off the trail around trees, through brush, down. And by doing that time and again, the little guys start learning something. They learn that, well, they learn two skills, actually. Number one, they learn to listen for my voice. Now, that's very important when I teach them commands later in life. But the second, and I think the most important thing, is to always follow the lead dog, because that is the one that will bring them safely back home. And they need that skill when they go in harness for the first time.
Yeah, that must be an exciting time in their life, Dave, is the harness. Because now they're getting ready to race. Now, what do you look for? What's your measuring stick before you put them in a harness?
Well, you know, when I decide to put them in 20 dog team, the whole gangline's over 100 feet long, so you can bet I rely on those leaders to make sure I'm getting where I need to go. Now, as you can see, power is not going to be my problem today, so I've modified this four-wheeler in a couple ways. Number one is, you can see this, I've removed the engine. My hand is going through where it used to be. There's nothing there. Number two, I've reinforced these brakes. But if I wasn't tied off to this rope, and you see them lunging here, they'd be dragging me down the trail already. So I'm going to take off in a second. I'll give you a call from the other side.
All right, Dave. Now, folks, watch how fast they break away here. These dogs are, look at them, it's amazing. They are truly born to run. Don't let anybody tell you different, the older dogs get. Because that's all they want to do is get out there and run with Dave. Look how excited they get. You know, a lot of folks wonder what kind of dogs they are, because they notice they're not very large. These are not purebred husky dogs like you might think. They're actually bred for their long-distance running ability, their speed, and their stamina. So they're not purebreds at all. Now, as he makes his way to the other side of the lake, put yourself in Dave's shoes for a moment. March, 20, 30 below. 100 miles a day for 1,000 miles with these animals. It's a grueling sport, but they sure work together. Here they come.
Oh, there they go.
20 miles an hour, I'm guessing, and when you consider that the four-wheeler and I weigh over 600 pounds, and these guys are pulling us like we're nothing, that's because we've got...
streams they were born in. I don't know how they do it, but they do. When he gets here, he's going to look for a girlfriend. Okay? She's going to lay 1,500 eggs in the cheetah. He's going to come along and fertilize those eggs. That's called spawning. After that happens, they'll both die. Those fish eggs will freeze solid.
And like I said, 5 years ago, this small sandbar in front of us started building up slowly and slowly, and it's really now filled in this whole area that we see in front of us. And
some people do end up on the sandbars occasionally. But you know this silt that I was talking about, just to let you know, that would never even hurt your hands. That's how fine. In fact, salmon swim right through that. and it does not hurt their gills at all. That's how fine the powder is there. I just think it looks really cool with the cream in your coffee color. The river, that moves the fish wheel. Pretty easy to see. It scoops up a salmon and then falls down into a box that's waiting for it. It's a very efficient way to actually catch salmon. On a good heavy run day, you can get up to 1,000 salmon in one day using this fish wheel. So again, it's very efficient. The government, of course, they regulate the use of the fish wheel. You can't have it on 24 hours a day. That's what regulates the population of the fish. So there is some downtime, but it is an excellent way to catch a large number of fish. I'm going to say good morning now on shore to our good friend Gareth, who's going to teach us all about life at fish camp. Good morning, Gareth.
Dointa Mindona Gareth Uza Nuchla Oya Koyakan Athabaskin, which means hi, how are you? And good morning. My name is Gareth. I'm a Koyakan Athabaskin and I come from the village of Tanana. Tanana is located about 220 river miles from here. On a map of Alaska, if you look, it's where the Tanana River runs into the mighty Yukon River. I am a 4th generation dog musher and I have been running dogs since I was 3 years old. At one point my family and I had over 100 dogs in our kennel, so you can imagine how heavily we relied on fish camp to catch all of our salmon through the summer and the winter months to feed our dogs.
Hey Gareth, how does this fish camp compare to your family's fish camp? Are they similar, and what are the buildings used for?
The fish camp that you guys see here that I'm at is very similar to my grandfather's fish camp, which is found along the Yukon River. His village is located approximately 20 river miles up the Yukon River from Canada. All of our salmon, on a good day when the salmon runs are coming up heavily, that fish wheel can catch up to 500 or even 1,000 salmon for us. Right here next to me are the air drying racks. This is where we place our salmon directly after we just get done cutting them. This uncovered one right here is for a sunny day, and then the covered one is for a rainy day. Directly behind me though is the smokehouse, and that's what we use the skin. This creates more surface area in the salmon to fully cook and dehydrate and preserve it faster in the smokehouse.
And Gareth has cut, of course, many fish in his life. Not a single finger gets cut. Okay, now there it opened right up. Now you take that into the smokehouse now, Gareth?
Nope, I'm actually going to hang it over here in the air and preserve it. And it will look like this and weigh less than a pound. As you can see, they're very different.
Yeah, it loses a lot of weight during that process. Okay, Gareth, what do you do when you're preparing the salmon for yourselves? What do you do differently?
So instead of scoring the salmon like I just showed you guys, we'll actually take these salmon fillets, cut them into thin strips, which we call salmon strips. It's like a jerky, and before we smoke it, we like to soak it in a brine of brown sugar, honey, salt, and water. So it though is a cache, and we use that for storing our dry goods, our salmon, and also our furs. On the other end of camp, you notice that canvas wall tents over there? That's what my family and I would sleep in. Today we sleep on cots, but my grandfather said when he was a little boy, he actually had to use a caribou hide as a mattress. And then we also have wood stoves in there to keep us warm and dry out our stuff on rainy days. Last, you notice those little square boxes next to the canvas wall tents? That's what my family and I would always bring dogs with us to act as an alarm system in case any strange animals like bears came to the area.
Ah, bears. Good planning, Gareth. Hey, you know, I mentioned on the boat here that occasionally you have to shut the wheel down and, turn it off for a while. Did it ever get boring, and what do you do during the downtime?
Well, when the fish wheel was turned off and we were done cutting salmon for the day, my dad would actually take me down to the banks and teach me how to make a fish wheel with my grandfathers and my uncles, and also how to repair one. And then my sister would stay up by the cabin with my mom and my aunties, and she would teach them how to beat and sew.
All right, so tell us about the chum salmon right there, Gareth. We get a few runs of those during the summer. Tell us about that.
So right here, do I have the chum salmon? We nickname it the dog salmon because we use them for dog food. Here in Alaska, we get 5 types of salmon, but in the Yukon and the Tanana rivers, we only get 3 of the 5. The king salmon, the chum salmon, and also the silver salmon. Chum salmon run twice in one summer. They're a lesser quality salmon, so we feed them to the dogs. What I've done so far for you guys is I've already deheaded the salmon, started the 2 salmon fillets. We leave the salmon attached at the tail though so we can hang them to dry. And then I have the backbone attached, and as you can see there's a lot of meat left here on the backbone, so we like to cut off the backbone and throw it into the dog pot because we feed the dogs the softer parts in the summertime.
And what do you do with that stuff afterwards? I mean, if it's a higher quality salmon, what do you do with the head and all that?
So if this was a higher quality salmon like the king or the silver, I'd actually save this fish head right here, and we make a fish head soup for our elders. It's considered a delicacy to us.
I gotta tell you, be honest, Gareth, I've never tried fish head soup before. Could you share with us what it tastes like?
I don't know, I'm not old enough.
A wonderful pioneer woman, our captain's grandma. Let me tell you, she has 11 licensed boat captains. Her granddaughter, Maddie, just got her captain's stripe last week, and now she's the youngest female boat captain in America at age 19. She tends a wonderful flower garden, as you can see, and she has the prettiest lawn ornament in town, right there. Because she built it, we keep it there as a tribute to her and Jim Binkley. She's been friends of every governor we've had in the state of it. An amazing woman.
सैंडल आपण पिकला की मग मच्छर
Goose flip it.